you assess your season, Colin?
Obviously, disappointing to miss so many games kind of in the beginning. So that is something just for me. I'm kind of grateful here at the end to be healthy and going into the summer. We had the conversation last year of being able to get a surgery to then have a summer and then prepare for the season. And I didn't really get that. I didn't really have the opportunity to have an off season to train and then a training camp and then 30 plus games there in the beginning to kind of brace myself for the course of an 82 game season. So I think there's positives to take from it, from a sense that now I'm healthy. I'm kind of over the hump of some of that stuff that happened in the beginning and last year. And then I was, from a just play perspective, I was kind of happy that I came in with a little bit of chip on my shoulder like I always have, and played the game a specific way with a lot of energy that kind of maybe helped the team right when I came in, kind of given that edge and energy. And I think there's always things when you look at the season that we had, things that I can do individually and possibly to help out a team. So you look back at some of those things that I can work on in the off season, and it starts in the gym. But overall, I was happy that I was able to come in, stay healthy once I came back, even though I didn't have necessarily the base to build off it, which I would have had maybe in previous years. And then from a gameplay situation, I was happy that I kind of came in with no hesitation or anything along those lines and kind of hit the ground running. And I think it kind of started from that first game against Colorado. I think sitting out was a little bit of a blessing in disguise of realizing what maybe the team and organization needed in order to kind of carve my role. And watching from afar, I understood that and was able to like I said, hit the ground running when I came in. And compared to the last year, the offense started coming a little bit more, and I felt like I was more of a threat, not kind of thinking out there, and I was able to chip in maybe more than I did the previous season.
When we talked before the deadline, you said you wanted to be here and be part of this moving forward. Do you have any sense from the team whether the feeling is mutual, or is that going to be a summer?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think for me, it's stuff that I've learned as, being 30 plus in this league. It's really out of my control, especially back at the trade deadline stuff. You never really know if you're going to go anywhere or not. But I can echo that. Like I said, I've always thrived in a situation where I feel like my story can help some of the young guys. If I had maybe half the skill of some of these young guys coming up, and we could trade, skill for maybe a little bit of the mindset and grit and stuff along those lines, then if I can have a little bit of that rub off on some of the younger guys, I think I did my job type of thing. I enjoy that role of teaching some of these younger players and learning from them as well. And I think, guys in the past year, you look at the previous years of, Kaner and Taser, and just being a sponge, trying to learn from some of those guys and teach some of the younger guys. I've always enjoyed that, and I think what they have here from a core guys that they've brought back, as well as some of the people they have in the pipeline, it's an exciting future. And I've always kind of wanted to be a part of something like that. And I think, like I just said, I did find my role this year, and I enjoyed it. And I hope to be here. And if not, it'll be unfortunate. But at the same time, I enjoyed the opportunity, especially this year, to kind of grow from that situation, and then hopefully, they appreciated that as well.
What are your summer plans now that you are healthy and do have time to train and everything?
I'm kind of turning the mold over to dad mode now. I got a kid coming in August, so kind of preparing for that. So just past the halfway point, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Exciting, and just from a hockey standpoint. I'm excited for the first time in a little while to kind of get that off season that I haven't really had to prepare for next year. And I think, I got a long ways to go. A lot of this year was maintaining so that nothing really bad happened. And now it's taking that full step forward in order to get ready for next year. So from a hockey standpoint, excited to finally get that. I feel like I haven't had that, and I think that makes a huge world of a difference. Hopefully, here just getting off to a really good start next year. I can't really afford to maybe what I've had slow starts the last 2 years from injury situations, but and then outside of that, live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's good to be close to home and close to family, and just get back at it, and looking forward to a little bit of kind of that, grinding in the gym this off season, just so that I can have a good start to next year.
Even through a down season, what's kind of been your favorite moment, whether it be on the ice or off the ice?
Yeah, I think you look at team stuff and then individual stuff. I think you look at I look at the Mother's Trip was something that was really cool for me. I saw Kevin Korchinski score his first goal with his mom in the stands, and then that was a trip that my dad had gotten to go on one before and my mom hadn't. So I think I've done a couple of those, and my mom has always given us a hard time of she's like, when is it going to be my turn? So I think just seeing situations like that where you see a lot of people behind the scenes of players that you don't get to necessarily see their stories or anything along those lines, or even really get to see their families sometimes. To be a part of a cool trip like that, where maybe moms don't get the benefit of the doubt, and maybe the dads do, but that was really cool for me. I didn't even play in any of those games, but to see the moms out there on that trip, I think that was pretty cool. And then from an individual standpoint, I think there's 7,000-8,000 people that have ever played in this league, and so just to get a game is pretty special for me. And then to score a hat trick, I think that was pretty cool, and spend that with some friends and family. That was definitely two things that stand out the most.
Did you surprise yourself at times this year with how well you played?
You guys might not know this, but I played a year with Artemi Panarin, so it's I'm a pretty good player, and I haven't really necessarily always get the benefit of the doubt. So, I look at the past of some of the players that I played with. I think if I listened to maybe some of you guys, I would have given up a long time ago. I always joke around about that, but I believe in myself, and it definitely doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of good players in this league that they maybe not have the leash to do things like maybe some of the top players in the league, and when you finally get that opportunity, you kind of have to seize it. And that's kind of been the journey of my career. I've always, every year I start on the fourth line, and then by the end of the year I'm playing in different situations. So it's really kind of a waiting game, patient game, and kind of wait that way. And it's kind of how the trajectory went, the 2 years that I was here. So to answer your question, no. And it's just sometimes it doesn't always start off all pretty, and I don't necessarily play a pretty game anymore either. So to some people, they're surprised, but I think everybody in this league was a power play guy at some point. And then in order to crack the league, I kind of had to look at things a little bit differently. I realized I wasn't going to, take an Artemi Panarin spot or, a Connor Bedard or someone like that. And I had to start from the bottom and work my way up. So when you get those opportunities to show your skill and stuff, it's important to do so. But there's a lot of good players in this league that maybe don't get the benefit of the doubt. And I like to consider myself as one of them.
Are we on better terms with you than the New York media?
You've always been on good terms with me, Joe. So.
No,
Yeah. I still get tweets from New York people that I suck. So it is what it is, and it was good to get a goal against them this year.
Last one for Colin.
Seth Jones was talking about he and Foligno talking about identity pieces. Guys accepting their roles, accepting the system. Do you agree with that? And if whether you do or not, what do you see as what this team needs? Yeah, definitely. I think I couldn't agree with them more. You talk about identity. I've been on good teams, and I've been on teams that had really good players that didn't really amount to anything. And I think the teams that didn't amount to anything were the ones that maybe a little bit more individualistic, and also didn't accept maybe a team identity or play their own skill within a team system. And I think there were some people that were really successful this year. You named just two people that they just played the game the right way, and I thought they got rewarded for it. Jonesy, Dickey comes to mind. Obviously, Foligno as well. I think those are just kind of hard-nosed people that do the right things, and they got rewarded for it. And I think in order to be successful in this league, you kind of have to have at least, it can't just be maybe one line or two lines. It has to be 18 skaters playing through a team identity of playing the game the right way. And I think that creates no gray areas, and there's a sense of direction where you know where the next person is going to be at all times. And I think when you commit to that fully, that's when the team's going to take the next step that they need to, because there's a lot of skill there. And I think just playing the game a specific way and maybe a little bit simpler is a key to success.
Just a quick follow-up. I just want to know, why do you think the Hawks don't have that?
I think I think it takes a little bit of. I've been in the league 6 years or so. I've been pro for going on year 9 now. I think it's a learning curve, a learning process. There are some young players, but you also look at what I said earlier of understanding that not everybody is going to be a first-line player, top 4 defenseman, and trying to find that role, that niche, that job opportunity. And I think not everybody necessarily always wants to accept that, because that's not the position that they've always played. But I think if you look at things outside the lines and kind of think of the game a little bit differently, you accept a role first, and then once you get your teammates, your coaches, your management kind of trust, then you build your game from there. I grew up a Bruins fan, and I look at Milan Lucic, I look at Brad Marchand. They were guys that got called up from the minors, and they were on the 4th line for the first couple of years, and then they climbed the ladder that way. And then you look at guys with over 1,000 games and how they stayed in the league. It's not always you're going to get the power play time or the penalty kill time or the top 4 time. It's kind of a gradual effect from there. So I think that's, just to answer your question, a long way of just accepting your role in the beginning and then kind of climbing from there.
Thanks, Colin.
We all silly like the mayor.